Hi, my name's Chuck Miller, and on occasion I've taken old, busted up items you find at the salvage yard, the flea market, the thrift store, taken them apart, and upcycled them into some really way cool stuff. Today I'm going to show you how to take an old soda pallet that used to hold bottles of soda back in the 1960s and turn it into a really nice looking end table. The parts you're going to need are, of course, you're going to need a pallet. That goes without saying. But you'll also need some stain, some glue, some screws, a well-charged screwdriver. That helps unless you want to get like carpal tunnel doing this. And a good relationship with your local lumber yard, because the local guys will cut your pieces to size if you need them. This is a good project. It will take you about a day. Come with me now and let's have some fun. What we have here is an old Dr. Pepper soda crate. And the eBay seller that told me this thing was in excellent condition must have been on some serious peyote. This thing is wrecked. These boards here are very loose. This one is cracked. This one is seriously scuffed. And the base is, well, there's not much left of it. What we're going to do is we're going to take the four sides, we're going to separate them out, remove this metal flashing and pull out the nails. We're going to save these four panels. These inner boards we're going to throw away. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a table out of this. And as we come back to the next part, I will show you what our table is going to look like. In order to remove the flashing here, what we're going to do is we're going to take this chisel and we're going to wiggle it underneath the flashing and loosen up these nails. Once we get the nails completely pulled out, or at least loosened up to the point where they're free from the wood, we can use this pry bar to pull them up and rip them completely out. That's going to be the fastest way to do that, and once we get back I'll show you what it looks like when they're all removed. So as you can see, here's all the four boards that we're going to save for our project. This is all the scrap metal and rusted nails and rotten wood. It's going to go in the contractor bag and I'll never see it again. But this stuff, we're going to get some wood from the lumber yard and we're going to turn this into a nice looking end table. I'll show you in just a few. What we have here is a piece of tulip poplar that I had the lumber yard cut for me. It's approximately 16.5 inches by 12, and this is going to be the top of our table. The parts that I was able to salvage from the rest of the Dr. Pepper crate, those are going to go on the sides, and they're going to be the skirt of the table. We'll put the legs on at another time. But what I want to do before I do any sort of assemblage is I'd really like to stain the wood. Now, this has very nice veins to it. I just really would like them to pop out more. With that in mind, we have two products from Minwax. We have a pre-stain conditioner that we put on the wood first, and then afterward we're going to put some golden oak wood stain to really make these veins pop out. Now, the reason you use a pre-stain is this actually prepares the wood for staining. If you went straight to the wood finish, the painting on the board would look very splotchy when it's done. It wouldn't look even. It would look kind of crummy. This makes it look more professional if you use this product first. Now, when you're using a stain, you always want to make sure it's stirred nicely, because there are sediments and chemicals that settle to the bottom, and you don't want to shake this up like you would shake a highball glass or a cocktail. You really don't want to introduce too many bubbles. Okay? So there takes care of that stirring. And for this, you want to definitely use a natural bristle brush. Okay, you just dip it in, get a nice coating, and give it a good painting. As you can see, it's really making the grain pop out. But you definitely want to do this first. Boy, I tell you, it looks like I really picked a good piece of lumber. Now, something I should tell you about this, your average lumber yard, your lumber yard that is not a Home Depot or a Lowe's, if you bring them the dimensions of the wood you need, most times they'll cut it for you as long as you're buying the board anyway. So that's always a good thing. Now we're going to wait about 2 minutes, and then after the 2 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to take a cloth and we're going to wipe off the excess stain. After that's done, we'll take the penetrating stain that we have here, and we're going to add that on. And that also you can apply with a natural bristle brush. This isn't exactly... It's kind of hard to do this when you're holding the phone camera at the same time, so please bear with me on this, okay? I'm doing my best. There we go. Look at that. Alright, we're ready to put on the penetrating stain. We'll just stir it up just a little more. There we go. Take the stick out of the way. And again, another natural bristle brush. These are probably the best things you can get. And they're very inexpensive, about a couple dollars a piece. So get a set of them. And then when you're done, you can toss them away. You're not really required to rinse them and save them. Just toss them away. They're only a couple bucks a piece. So you can also use the foam boards that you'll see in arts and crafts stores. Those will work too. Just paint with the grain of the wood. Look at that. There we go. Look at that. Paint with the grain, not against it. And you only want to put like a light coat on. I know I'm dripping a little, just bear with me here. You want a light coat. If you feel that the grain needs to be darker, you can add a second coat. Look at that. Okay. Now I'm only doing the top because, again, this is actually going to be the top of our table. We're not going to be painting the sides of these planks because these are going to be replaced with the skirts that are right there. Okay. And now I'm going to work this into the grain. Take your cloth, get a nice clean corner. We're just going to rub this in. Rub it directly in with the grain. Look at, oh my God, look at that. Isn't that cool? Give it a good wipe down. There you go. Now when you're done, we're going to put on some urethane to preserve the stain and preserve the grain. We'll cap these back up because we really don't need to waste any of the stain. You can use it for other projects down the road. Okay, so I've put a coat of urethane on here so it's nice and protected. I'm going to take these remaining parts from the old crate. I'm going to screw them so that the tops of these match up with the tops of this board. This is going to be the top of my table. And if I do this correctly, I should be able to have nice screws all the way along the edges. And I'll also be able to screw the corners together. We'll see how this turns out in just a couple of minutes. And here you have it. As you can see, we've got the top here, and we've put the sides, screwed them in with some good Spax screws all along the top and along the corners. Next thing we're going to do is put the legs on. We're not looking for ornately carved, turned, lathed legs here. These are just going to be some planks, and we're going to insert them into the bottom of this construction so that it will be a nice little table. So what I've got here is I bought some 2x2 planks of tulip poplar, and I'm screwing them directly into the base, the underside of what I've already assembled. I'm using some Spanx screws. I'm anchoring 2 on this side and 1 on here, so it'll be in nice and tight. As you can see, this one here, I have not yet finished screwing them in, just to show you what's going on. And then this one in here will have some glue. This is the drill bit I'm using. It is a countersink drill bit, and it'll provide a recessed hole where the screw will go in down below flush. If I wanted to, I could actually spackle over that screw so nobody could see it, but in this case I'm just going to leave it as is and just have it screw under the wood with a recess so that nobody scrapes their finger on it or anything of that nature. I'll show you the completed project in just a few moments. And here you have it, the Dr. Pepper table, made out of a Dr. Pepper soda pallet and some tulip poplar wood that was custom cut at the lumber yard. Some of it's been stained, some of it was left natural. Some Spanx self-drilling screws hold the legs together. This can be used as a night table, it can be used as an end table. Put your remotes on it so you never lose them. Maybe your alarm clock, a flower pot, the morning mail, anything you want. This is a fun little project. It actually took me just a day to build and a couple of trips to the lumber yard and to the home improvement store to get certain parts that I was missing. If you want to build something like this, all the directions are in the video, and be sure, if you could, to like, share, and subscribe to videos like this. Have a great day.